In this video, I'm going to be spending a week with my friends in Puerto Rico, going on a crazy adventure complete with beaches, rainforests, cave exploring, off-roading, and even glowing water. But that's not what this video is really about. This video is about my friend Kenyon. Kenyon is like a son to me, and at the age of 20, he was given less than a year to live because of a thing called pulmonary fibrosis. I'll have him explain what that means in a second, but for now, we're in San Juan fulfilling as many items as we can on his bucket list and helping to fulfill some of his wildest dreams. So join us on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure as we explore Puerto Rico, but also as we talk with Kenyon and hear his incredible story of what it's like to have hope as he lives the final year of his life. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's raining a little bit. Oh gosh.
Ooh, okay. Hey, this is Matt. I don't think Yale's introduced me yet. So we're currently swimming in Yunque National Forest. Yeah. Kenyon's first rainforest. What are your thoughts so far?
Honestly, the rain kind of adds to it, to where it like feels close to nature.
Yeah, well, I'm in a t-shirt and shorts and I feel like I'm dying, so
that's fair.
It's great. Kenyon's doing great though. Okay, well now that we're sliding down this muddy hill, Kenyon, do you want to? Oh gosh!
That is a big drop. Careful. Yeah. Point to the right. That's what.
Yeah, that could have been me right there. So Kenyon, do you want to just kind of explain like what pulmonary fibrosis is and how it's like been affecting you over these last couple of years?
Yeah. So basically, it's just scarring of the lung tissue, which over time just inhibits function until your lungs can't really process oxygen at all. It's a lot of difficulty breathing, chest pain, dry coughing, which hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Doing things like hikes and exercise has kept it a little bit more manageable. I am still active, still bike all of the time, walk all the time. It's just being a lot more cautious with those things.
All right, well, we're gonna try and get down this mountain without slipping and falling to our deaths, so I guess we'll cut.
So I don't know if you caught it or not, but there is zero complaining with Kenyon. I don't know about you, but if I was slowly losing the use of my lungs, I don't think I would handle that reality with such humility and grace. He's actually struggling much more than he's letting on, but as always, he's choosing positivity in the midst of it. So next, we'll ask him what it was like when he first heard that he had this debilitating disease, but for now, we kind of just need to get off the mountain alive.
Okay, that's raining pretty heavy now. Wait, Matt, you had a poncho in your pocket the whole time?
Poncho. I guess I was thinking there'd be a better place somewhere to use it, but like this is literally a rain.
All right, Matt's mom, I'm assuming you got him that poncho, and I am so sorry on his behalf that he completely janked.
You don't think I could buy my own poncho?
I don't think you did buy your own poncho. Wife or mother, pick it.
Mother.
Yeah. Good job, Matt's mom.
Next, we headed to Old San Juan to experience the beauty and the culture of Puerto Rico, which has been thriving for over 500 years. We started with a visit to the oldest structure that Kenyon had ever laid his eyes on, Castillo San Felipe del Morro. This towering fortress was built by the Spanish in 1539 to protect the city from impending warships and pirates coming from the Atlantic Ocean. This was partially incredible for Kenyon just to see a massive and ancient structure, but it also reminded us of all of the people that came before us. Spain, Great Britain, the Netherlands, and later the United States have all held sway over Puerto Rico and have used this very spot for protection. So as we walked around, gazing out over the vast ocean, we were reminded about the countless thousands of men and women who were here before us, most of them gone without as much as a memory of their existence. As we continued on into the streets of Old San Juan, we were struck with more of the same sentiment. All of this incredible architecture, cobblestone streets, and vibrant pastel buildings were a testimony of the people who had come before us, all of whom left a mark on the culture we see before us today. When you're in a place of deeply contemplating the balance of life and death, all of these things just hit a little differently. So as you can imagine, we had a healthy mix of getting lost in the charm of Puerto Rico while also holding on to the stress of the current situation. So we sat down to dinner at a local spot, ready to dive into more of the emotions that come with this grief.
It's a little crazy loud in here. We just got food. This is delicious Puerto Rican food. But to enlighten all of us, Kenyon, what is it like to just realize that you might not have much time left?
You have so many emotions and so many feelings and so many thoughts, and those just coming and going in waves, like anger, depression, just fighting for time that you feel has been taken away from you. It's just such a hard thing to just juggle, and just dealing with that every single day and still trying to live life is just super hard.
So you found out about this about 2.5 years ago, right? That you had pulmonary fibrosis, but you were told just a few months ago you have 1 year to live if you don't get a transplant. So what happened, or what did it feel like that day hearing that and knowing there's a finite time?
Everything just kind of stopped and just felt like I was back at the beginning of just all of the time that I had spent kind of processing. I was avoiding it a long time. Processing it and like working through it with people. It just felt like none of that mattered, and I was just going back to square one. It was the second most difficult day of my life. The first being the original diagnosis, because it just came out of nowhere. But thinking you have time and having that time fade to dust in front of you is just something I can't really put into words fairly.
Yeah. There's a verse in the Bible that says that life is like a vapor. And I think times like that, even for us, by the way, this is Matt. Matt's awesome. He's with us. He'll talk later. But all of us don't know how much time we have left, and we think that our lives are just going to go forever, but eventually they're done. Like, our lives are a vapor. They're temporary. So it's a lot to think through. The next thing we have is tomorrow we're off-roading on the beach, which is going to be awesome. And there's no good way to cut to that, so let's just cut. No, just go. Kenyon, let me ask you the question before we get out on the beach. What has it been like knowing that you don't have a ton of time left? Everyone talks about like a bucket list. Like, it's a list of things to do sometime in the future, but you look at that a little differently now, right?
Yeah.
So what's it like doing something like this? What's a bucket list mean to you?
Bucket lists are hard. They have a lot more weight, but I think viewing it as seeing the lighter sides of life, and focusing on the happiness and the fun versus focusing on the sadness and constant appointments is something I think really vital to just maintaining sanity during seasons like this.
So you said something earlier when Matt and I were talking. That's Matt in the back. Hey. Some saying that you had heard about wolves, but I think really put it in perspective. If I tried to say it, I would botch it. So what were you saying about that?
Yeah, so it's you have a wolf in the light and the wolf in the dark. The only one that lives is the one that you feed. So it talks about just where you're putting your energy and where your focus is, and sadder, more somber things, or brighter, more happy things, and kind of trying to put more focus and more energy toward those happy things in order for that to be what your life is.
Yeah. Okay, so just focus on the happy things, which I don't think you have to only have a year left to think that that's a great idea. I think I think a lot of us focus on the rough things and not always the happy things or the light things. You're right, the thing that you feed is the thing that takes over. So I think that's kind of the core of today. We don't need to get deep and philosophical for this whole trip. Sometimes you just need to let loose and have fun and do some crazy stuff, right? Which I've heard he's an expert in doing crazy stuff. So that's like his profession. So we're gonna have a really fun time doing some crazy stuff. All right, let's do it. And that turbo sounds so good. All right, this is so much fun. All right, let's get to the beach. Okay, so we just stopped on our ATV thing. I just found out, oh gosh, I don't want to get my shoes wet. We're at the beach. I just found out this is Kenyon's first time to see the ocean.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What's it like?
It's blue.
It's blue.
Lake Michigan was like my basis of how cold the water would be, and it's so much warmer.
Yeah.
Lake Michigan is freezing.
Yeah, this is Caribbean water, man.
Yeah. Got it.
Put my seatbelt on.
So today was full of firsts for Kenyon. Firsts that have a stark possibility of also being lasts. It's not very often that we do fun things and think, wow, I think this will be the last time that I do this. But that's the reality that Kenyon's living through. But you gotta give it to him. Choosing to feed the wolves in the light is such an admirable way of looking at the world, and no matter what tomorrow brings, this is a good day.
Okay, so we drove across Puerto Rico from San Juan down to the bottom tip. We're in Parguera right now. Did I say that right? Parguera?
Parguera.
La Parguera, okay. And we are going to a place called the Bio Bay, where the water is gonna glow. I'm super excited about this. Also, this is Kenyon's first time on a boat ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Yeah. Now he understands why he needs a life vest. This is going to be awesome. We're gonna get to see the water glow. And this is Matt. I don't know if you met Matt or not. This is Matt. You good?
I'm chilling. I just wasn't expecting the
the back and
from that
forth.
one.
Just realized how mean it was to have the first time you'd be on a boat be in the middle of the night.
Yeah. It's fine.
You're doing good.
We're gonna get into the bay now. The bay is in front of us. The reason we have these organisms here is because it's very shallow where we are. These microscopic organisms are planktonic. They cannot control their movement, so they're being pushed in by the waves, the currents, the tides. They all push them in, and they get trapped inside the bay. Okay? So each one of these organisms, there's a chemical reaction within the cell, like gives off heat in the form of light when they're stimulated by movement. So there's millions of them, and they all glow at the same time when they're moved.
There's like 16 in the world, right?
Yeah,
and
that's
Puerto Rico has
large.
3. And then there's only 3 that you can swim in of all the 16, and this is one of them. So
Okay.
just jump in. All right. Oh, he's gone. I can't even see him. Dude, when I like move my hands a lot, look. What?
This is one of the most peaceful things that I've ever done.
Yeah. That's because you're not in the water.
Yeah.
All right, Kenyon. You've done a really good job of like avoiding the chaos and pressing into it where needed, but you just have so much hope for being somebody that only has months left. Like, where does that come from?
I don't know. Just the hope of Jesus and just knowing that God is in control and like constant reminders of that and being in community, they just exhibit Jesus super well. Each one in their own unique ways. Being good, godly people reminds me that God is in control and that I am loved not only by my community but by him.
It really is, even just for me, like a reminder of being in a place like this where this stuff glows where it like shouldn't. You know, like it all feels like it shouldn't work this way. But man, there's just so much creativity around us. Looking up at the sky, up at the stars that just go forever, and then looking down at the water that's literally glowing. Like just the artistic hand is amazing.
I don't know anything about his condition, but I think he's gonna come back here in 5 years.
I hope so too.
That's all I can say. I would say the same words that he said, that God is in control, and for some reason I know he's gonna be back here in 5 years. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. All right, mark it on the calendar. 5 years to the day, we're doing this again. This same great God that we're talking about, that's in control of all this stuff, is in control of him too. And we're praying that the transplant list comes through and that we can see something incredible out of this. But I think there's something to learn from this regardless. So 5 years, we all in?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years?
5 years.
5 years from now, you go in.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah? 5 years from now, Kenyon goes in the water. Put it on the calendar. This is going to happen. We got to start saving up now, though. All right, cool. All right, let's head back.
After taking in the wonder that is the bioluminescent bay and further confronting our minuscule place in the universe, we continued our travel across the island of Puerto Rico. After stopping at the Arecibo Observatory to see what was once the world's largest radio telescope, and more importantly, the location where the final scene of Goldeneye was shot, we arrived at one of the most beautiful natural sites in Puerto Rico, Cueva Ventana, or in English, the Window Cave.
Okay, so we're up here on the top near Cueva Ventana, which is like a cave system that goes through the mountain and has this big opening we're going to see in just a minute. But the view up here is crazy. Kenyon is actually over there just mesmerized. So
once we'd taken an adequate amount of time zoning out, just staring at the beauty on the top of the mountain, it was time to venture into the mountain itself. Our guide Brian then talked us through all of the safety issues that the cave presented, and also warned us about all the bats, roaches, mice, and scorpions that called this particular cave their home. So yeah, this was going to be a bit of an adventure.
We're going to keep all of our flashlights pointing to the floor. You okay there?
Yep.
Watch out.
That's slipped.
Okay, when we get to the bats, I'll be showing them with red light. Red light is a lot easier on their eyes. I think I can see the scorpion. Okay, so you see that
Oh, yeah.
thing inside? That's the tailless whip scorpion.
wow. That is a thing of nightmares.
Oh, look at that wall there. So all those little dots you see, those spots, are all roaches.
So Matt, with all the roaches, by the way, this is Matt. I don't think I've introduced Matt. With all the roaches, how do you feel about wearing shorts?
It was the best idea, actually. It's my favorite thing to have roaches on my legs.
Look at that, there's birds in here. That's so cool. Cave swallows.
That's gorgeous.
Kenyon, this has been a really fun week, and it's been really good to see just you be hopeful and really press into these different things. But let me just ask, like, I think everyone leaves behind a legacy, and whether you get a transplant or not, what do you want your legacy to be?
Just to be known as like a good disciple of Jesus. The presence of Jesus is just so life-changing. Going from a quiet, angry teenager with no hope for his future and no hope in the world, to a 20-year-old with kind of a goal and kind of a direction because of Jesus, and so much more happiness and hope and love. The destruction and the hurt that is in the world, that is all around us, it is completely different when you have that hope of Jesus in you. And anything that Jesus taught, if you apply it to your life just increases. The quality of life just gets better. So there's no reason not to. Most importantly, it's just he's worth it. And we are in need of that joy and that hope.
Yeah, coming from somebody who the world would say you should have no hope, it's inspiring to see looking to eternity. One day we're all going to step into the next life, and I think when you fully understand that, it changes the way that you walk through the dark places.
Even like beautiful views like this is going to change in hundreds, thousands of years, but God is just so good and everlasting. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And just leaning on that is huge.
That's good. Brian, can we rappel off of this so we don't have to walk back through the, I'm not gonna say I like really don't want to walk back through the cockroaches, but all right, we're good. Let's do this.
Okay, Kenyon, so this trip has been a lot of firsts. It's been your first time out of the continental US into a different culture. It's the furthest you've been from home. It's your first time seeing the ocean, your first time being on a boat, your first time in a rainforest, first time off-roading, first time seeing bioluminescence, which is kind of, forever, but that one makes sense.
Yeah.
Going into a cave, and even your first time seeing a waterfall. There's been a lot, and I know a lot of this has been really like pushing for you. It's been pushing you out of your comfort zone. So the last thing we want to do, somebody gave specifically to help you do this. We know you are a foodie and you love culinary arts, you love good food, you love learning how to cook and that kind of thing. So we're going on a culinary art tour of Old San Juan and getting to like experience the different foods from some like top rated chefs and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So it's gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that really quick. But Kenyon, do you have any last words for people as we finish this up?
Yeah, I just want to thank anybody who like just gave to this. I remember just looking at it cross that 6,000 mark, sitting on my friend's couch and just looking at it for like 30 minutes and just feeling genuinely cared for. And I just want to thank anybody who was able to make this happen.
Yeah, it's been good, man. I'm excited to finish it off this way. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more cool stories like this, hopefully some with Kenyon. And 5 years from now, we're going to be back in the bioluminescent bay. So we love you guys. We'll see you in the next adventure.